whole country being involved in things, and perhaps that's why it is with the education world too. Let me tell you a little about me, then I'll let him do some things. I'm Jerry Green. These are two of my former colleagues here. They've been retired before I did, Roy McGuinn and Tommy Coots. I worked with them in Buncombe County Schools. I began teaching at Emma, taught at Johnson, assistant principal at Swannanoa, and retired after 34 years as principal at Black Mountain Primary. Now you get asked, well, why are you going to run for Board of Education? I've been involved in education all my life. The purpose of it is if I can help, I want to be of service, and that's why I chose to run. Now, the colleagues that's running against us, I count as friends. We have some different views, and we'll let the public decide which view they prefer. And so that's kind of where we are. I do think because of being principal, I have some insight to some things that perhaps others may not, and I want to use those as wise as I can to help other folks. And so we have chosen to run as a slate together. Buncombe Forward endorsements helped us with some of these things, and that's where we are. The incumbents are running as a group too. Now you need to know this. You need to know this if you keep up with the paper. The incumbents are running as a group, but they're also saying that we're the political ones. We are of both parties. Nonpartisan is both parties. If you're running as incumbent and you're running as a one group and one party, that's not very nonpartisan, in my opinion. So therefore, we have to be careful of how we talk about those things. So here's where we are. I do think I have some insight that might help with some things, and some things we'll need to talk about. Questions you may have, you want to ask us, you're welcome to ask. Amy, I'll let you tell us a little about you.
I'm Amy Churchill. I am running for the Robertson District seat for the school board, and I am not a teacher. I don't have an educational background. I am a mom, and I'm a mom of a 6th grader, and ever since preschool, I have been very much involved in her education by being in the school system, volunteering in the classroom, doing one-on-one reading groups, class mom. And class mom's not like it used to be. Class mom's a little bit more detailed than it used to be in the past. You just had to bring in some cupcakes and do a little chaperoning. Now they want you to, organize getting school supplies in, paper to the office, work on, making sure that there's enough parents and volunteers in the classroom for small group instruction, because the assistants have been cut back in the classroom, and so to supplement for that, we're using more parent volunteers, and so you typically have to have somebody that can coordinate that. And I really love it. I really enjoy being with the kids, and some of them I've known since kindergarten, off and on, being in different classes with my daughter, and I've just really watched them grow and learn, and it's been a learning experience for me too. So I guess in a way you could say that we're all teachers and educators, because one thing I've noticed being in the classroom is even when you're not speaking, the kids are watching you. They watch your actions, they watch your behavior. And I personally decided that I was going to run and show my daughter that if you find something you're not happy with the system and think you might have an idea to help it, then instead of sitting back and complaining, to try to get out there and actually do something. And so I saw that the representative for Robertson was not very supportive to parents' concerns and some teachers' concerns, not willing to sit down and have a true conversation, wanted to limit public comment at the board meetings. And I just thought, this really isn't a representative. So I decided that I would try to be more of a voice and more of a respectful voice, because above all else, people have said to me, how's it going? How's people's reactions to you? What are you thinking? Maybe you should get out there and say this or behave this way. And honestly, my daughter's watching me and all her friends, and I can assure you that kids are out there paying attention. They're talking about the election in the schools. And it's more important to me to have the respect of those kids than to get down and start, slinging mud. And that's why I've chosen to take the high road. And I will never speak unkindly about anybody. The things that I do speak of are things that I can speak of with facts to back them up. So that's a little bit about me, probably more than you wanted to hear right now. But
I'm Brian Freeland, and I'm running for the North Buncombe district seat. I have been in the North Buncombe area since 1982. I am a graduate of North Buncombe High School of '86. I have a 6-year-old correct me. I have coming up an 8-year-old. 8-year-old next month. He's in the 2nd grade. He goes to the primary school. I've been involved in the school systems ever since that he started school. Same type of issues like what Amy said. Getting involved in the schools. When your children are young, if you stay in it and go with it, then you're going to be able to make a difference in the schools, because you're going to be able to see how the schools are run. And as I've done that, I decided, hey, why don't I check out the PTO? Checked out the PTO. 2 years later, here I am, the vice president of the PTO. Turned the whole PTO organization around for the North Buncombe School District, where it was, I won't say a failing organization, but it was floundering a little bit, and we took that along with the team that I've got, and we've taken that and made a big change in the way the PTOs ran and the funds that would come in. Now, you also ask yourself, here's another reason of running for the school board. Why do we have to have fundraisers to raise money for the schools so the kids can have pens, paper, pencils, erasers? We shouldn't. We should not have to do that. So that's an issue to be brought up, in the school board. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you right off the bat that, hey, we're going to get in there and fix this problem with the money in the first 3 months, 6 months, maybe not even the first year. Because it's going to take that issue of sitting down, looking at the budget, going through and seeing what we've got in the budget that we can work to get that money straight to the classrooms, to help those teachers. Excuse me. I shouldn't be receiving a letter at the house from a teacher stating, hey, before your child comes to my classroom this year, that he needs to bring these items. We should never, as parents, receive a letter from like that from anybody in the school system. They should never have it. And that's one big reason why I am running for the school board, to try to help with that budget. Now, people say that, well, the budget is so big, and there's over like 60,000 items on the budget that we have to go through and try to pick stuff out, and it's just so hard that we break it down and stuff like this. You know what? I have served on many boards, and one of the biggest boards was with the Fraternal Order of Police, where we had to sit down twice a year and look at the budget line by line by line. It took us 3 days to look through that budget. You know what? If it takes 3 days, if it takes a week, that is our job. To sit there and look at every line item and see what we need to do and see how we can change moving money around if we have to. Or there is some issues in the budget that money is allocated and that's where it has to stay. We understand that. But there's other issues and other money line items that money can be moved. So that's a little about me. Just tell you a little bit about myself. As you see right now, I work for Ace Hardware over on Merriman Avenue. left work just so I can come talk to you folks and everything and answer your questions that you've got. I used to work for the police department here in Asheville. I left there after 12 years. I've actually been in law enforcement for 17 years. Retired military, retired with 20 years of service with the Army National Guard with 3 active duty tours. And retired with that, and now I spend a lot of time with the family where I'm also very much involved with my son's Cub Scout group, where I'm the assistant Cub Master in Weaverville. So that's a very big obligation for us there. We're